we are out just canvassing the vineyards, kind of seeing where the growth is, if we're seeing any issues. You can see this vineyard has already been tilled. They've already done some suckering. The suckering is where they take off any kind of excess growth. You can see that they're doing a little shoot thinning. There's kind of some shoots on the ground there. Some of that is to open it up to sunlight and air, and some of it is to change the growth pattern a little bit, whether to increase growth or keep growth down. Our friends in the vineyard. So you can see we are blooming here. So here's a cluster, and you can see the little flowers coming out here. And what's interesting is the south side, facing side is blooming. You can see kind of the north side over here. Here's clusters that are not blooming. So there's always variation in the vineyards from side to side and how they're actually planted. So whether it's east, west, north, south. So far a lot of growth since the last 4 years have been pretty limited on growth. We're probably going to see this as a big growth year. That doesn't mean it's going to be a big crop year necessarily, but they are going to try to kind of overcome what's happened over the last few years. If we had a big rain right now, knocking off flowers, a big wind, lots of things can still happen. These blocks now, I'm going to say a good 5 to 6 years so that we've been sourcing. The fact that we now have the contracts with these vineyards that we'll have year after year definitely lends to the consistency in the wine.
These are the future grapes that we'll be drinking in about 2 years.
In about 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Future grape drinking. You'll see leaf pattern-wise the differences between the leaves when we go over to the Chardonnay versus the Pinot. The next vineyard we'll go to actually has both varietals kind of in the area, and it's one way that you can tell what type of grape it is by the leaf pattern.
Is everything looking pretty good and healthy?
So far.
Yeah. What's the white residue on the leaves?
Probably a little sulfur dust for mildew.
Okay.
This area and Pinot Noir grapes are kind of notorious for having issues. So a little sulfur. Could also be a little bit of food. I think we're looking pretty good. So,
good balancing act so far. So
yeah, time to do a bunch of tucking.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, I was a little worried about kind of some spring fever effects, but I'm not really seeing it. So that's good.
Yeah. Get the wire up pretty soon and tuck it up there.
Yep. But yeah, looking pretty
Blooms
good.
coming along here, and a lot of vegetation.
Yeah. Lots of green leafies.
Is this more so than you'd typically see around May 10th?
Not really.
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really. Every vineyard is a little bit different, and every area is a little bit different. This is pretty fertile areas that we're going to be going to, even though it drains really well. There's a lot of nutrient that kind of comes with that underground water as well. So this is the area that we're primarily getting our Pinot Noir from. You can see on the other side there's kind of water. We're actually standing on a levee here. So you can see how close we are to water. Groundwater is right here. With that, then, you know, all of this is kind of the bay bed. So very good drainage. You can see kind of the difference in Growth here is a little bit less, it's a little bit cooler, and then the draining is a little bit different here too. So the vigor is a little bit different than first vineyard that we just saw.